start recording this.
Answer the question first because it doesn't pertain to this webinar.
Oh. Did it go? Yeah. All right. So we're going to start today where Chad left off last week or last time we were together. We're going to start on the materials screen here. And we're going to go through some of the features that are not well known or well used by most people. Again, the basics should be used by everybody. So we're going to show you some of those things right now. The first feature that I want to look at is this hold list. So this is, we actually have two different hold lists. One of them is on the sales confirmation screen. Okay, when you click that, it will show any holds up here. And the other hold list is up on the purchase order screen. And you're going to see different types of holds from each of those screens. So let's try sales confirmation first. The way that you put something on hold is actually over on the sales order screen. Okay, so you might have, you know, like an order right here, but this particular order you don't want to process. You don't want to create the PO until later. You might have a delay. The customer doesn't want it right away. You have a specific date that you want to do it. You can just put that on hold right there. Somebody's on got the thing on. Hang on just a second till we mute that person.
Somebody's got on mute.
What's that? You don't see him.
Oh, right. I got it. Okay. Yeah, just keep yourselves on mute.
All right. Yeah, make sure you're on mute so that we don't have this background noise. Okay, so when you put a line item on hold, what will happen over here on the sales confirmation screen is you can click on this hold list right here and it will give you a list of everything on hold. If it's on hold, it doesn't show up on sales confirmation, okay, for you to create purchase orders. And it will just stay in that status. Now, a lot of times people will use hold for things like pad or installation supplies, things that are you give to people or provide in sales in bulk, right? Thinking of you know, backer board for tile and grouts, or not grouts, but the underlayments and so forth. Those things are all sold in bulk, and you may not want to assign all of your stock to jobs that won't go for a while, and so you're going to put those types of materials on hold until it gets closer to the job. We recommend that you do this maybe you know, when you go to stage the job, when it's actually going to be installed in a day or two, that's when you should take it off hold and assign the stock to it. Okay, so that would be a good use of the hold button, or the hold status. Okay, so that's the hold feature on the sales confirmation screen. And then on the purchase order screen, let's say that you wanted to create a purchase order to show that it's ordered, but you actually don't want to place the order yet on a special order. You're delaying things for a little while. What you can do is create a purchase order like this, get it on the purchase orders list, but then you can click on it and change the status over here to hold. Okay? And by doing that, it takes it off of your active purchase orders list, puts it onto the hold purchase orders list. Okay? You'll notice that this hold list is different than this hold list. Okay, different products, different line items. All right, so that's how you can keep that on hold and keep it in limbo, if you will, until you're actually ready to order it. When you are ready to order it, you just click on it on the list, bring it up over here, change the status back to purchase order, save. Now it goes on your active purchase orders list. Okay, there it is again. So those are the hold features on the materials screen here. Let's talk about POs. Okay, I'm going to click on a few of these here. These are all coming from the same vendor for the same job because they have the same PO number on them. Okay, so I'm going to finalize this as if we're going to order it. And you know, the simple way to order stuff is over the phone.
Your call is being transferred.
What do we got going there, Chad? That's somebody still not on mute. Sorry, I'm not transferring everyone out of this training, okay? Somebody else is not on mute. When you're placing the PO or the purchase order, you can do a phone order. You can also do a fax or printed PO in order for you to maybe create a PDF that you can then attach to an email and send it out. You can do that down here by printing, and you can also send B2B POs. Okay, if for those vendors that are B2B compliant in this. Currently there are 12 suppliers nationwide that are B2B compliant in B2B POs, okay, including the 3 major mills. So if you do a lot of business with one vendor, make sure you check our website to see if that might be a vendor that that does B2B POs, and if so, you may consider doing that. Okay, and again, you're gonna find that over here under partners B2B, and down here there will be a list. Let's see, right here. This shows you a certifications list of who does what and who is certified to do what. Okay, so if you have a vendor you do a lot of business with and you want to automate the process of sending sending POs, receiving invoices back from them, etc. Check this list on our website and you can see who does that and who doesn't. Okay. Some of the features here in the B2B POs that I want to just point out to you is when you do one of these, either print it or send it B2B, you want to select the vendor that you're getting this from. Let's say that we're getting this from Bishop, and it will put in the first 3 letters in front of your PO number. I'm going to take off my line number because I've got 3 line items all going to the same vendor here, and I just want my PO number. So I'm going to hit that, and then I would hit OK there, right? Or send B2B if I wanted to send that B2B. The other parts down here I wanted to point out is in the ship to. This will list all of your locations, so you can tell the vendor where you want it to be shipped to, including if you want it to be drop shipped at the customer's ship to address. Okay, that's what that means, the sales ship to. So you can give special instructions down here in this box for other things. You can propose a date that you want it shipped, etc. Okay. You can also send your acknowledgement or get your acknowledgement for the PO that you send in real time or in batch mode. If you're just doing one or a couple POs at a time, real time is okay. If you're doing a handful or more of POs, I would recommend you do batch mode so that you don't have to wait for each acknowledgement to come back. Okay. Some vendors are faster than others. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes per PO. And so if you, I would recommend doing batch mode if you're doing, high volumes of this stuff. Okay. And then when you're done with that, you can hit send B2B. All right. And that will send it off to the vendor. All right. I'm going to hit OK there. Those POs leave. Go to my on order list here. Okay. I'm going to, it didn't change my PO number, so I'm going to do that real quickly because I didn't hit send B2B. So I'll need to change those for one of my next steps in the future. Yeah, I'm going to give it all the same PO number there. All right. So then you have one of the other things that we have in the materials screen here is barcoding. Well, actually, before I go to, are there any questions, Chad? Okay. So let's go on to barcoding and tag printing. One of the things you can do in QFloors here is
Yeah, check this out.
you have the ability to do
We're doing barcoding, so it doesn't apply to us anyway.
certain
I don't know how to fix
certain things in barcoding in QFloors. One of them shows up on this cleanup stock window where you have this reconcile button. What this is the reconcile button is something that you would only use when you are reconciling a physical inventory count that you've taken. Okay, and it only works if you get the special barcode scanner that we have available that you can order from us, and that scanner goes out. You go out to the warehouse and you scan all of your products. Of course, they have to all be barcoded for this to work on your tags. But you scan, put in a physical count, scan the next one, physical count, scan the next one, physical count. So you go through and do all your physical counts. You bring back that scanner. By the way, it's cordless, so it's not hooked to anything. You bring that back to your computer, plug it in, and you click this reconcile button, and what it will do is now compare what your inventory shows in QFloors with what you captured as physical inventory counts. Okay, and then it will suggest, it'll give you a report to suggest how you need to and what you need to adjust on each of the products in QFloors to reconcile and adjust your inventory to match your physical counts. Okay, so that's what this thing does and how it uses barcodes. The other way that you can use barcodes is in your scanner button right down here at the bottom of the stock list. Okay, now let me just stress something about this. Okay, barcoding is can be effective and help you save a lot of time if you are organized up front. I would really recommend that before you decide to barcode your warehouse and to use barcoding, that you watch the webinar that Chad Ogden did a few months back. It's in on our website. It's posted in there under the webinars area. I would strongly recommend you watch that first before you decide to do barcoding. Okay, because there's certain things that need to be in place that you need to prep for, and equipment that you need to have, and so forth, before you actually start doing it. But if you do barcoding, these are some of the different things you can do when you have your whole warehouse barcoded. You can do receiving, okay, by clicking a bin number, clicking the tag. You can move things. Click the tag, click the bin it's going to, and it'll move it into that area without you having to, type it into the computer. You can pick things off the shelf, staging, and transfer. Now, most of you are not using the pick, staging, transfer features, okay? Those are advanced features, warehousing features, and they're found here on these tabs, and you've probably seen them before: pick, staging, transfer. In order to learn how to use those, if you want to use them, please watch the other video. It's more advanced stuff, and usually for larger warehouses, and especially for multiple warehouses. If you're an operation that has warehousing and materials in different locations, that's where you would use those types of things. Okay. All right. Good. Let's move on to this one here. One of the features that we have in the materials screen is the merge feature. Okay. And it's found, you turn on the switch to do merging under setup, miscellaneous, and then right down here, merge products on bin change. Okay. So I'm not going to do any of it, but that's how you would set it up to turn on the feature. Okay. Now, I'll just explain what the merge feature does, and then you can decide if it's something you want to do. What it does is it takes materials with two separate material numbers. Okay, so they're going to be two different things on your list here with the same, that are on different material numbers, but you can merge them into the same material number by placing them into the same bin location. Okay, the materials will merge only if the following fields are the same. Okay, the manufacturer has to be the same, the style, the color, the SKU number, the location, so the location of this particular product, the type of product, okay, has to match, the die lot, which is found on this next page. Die lot has to be the same. They have to be in the same status and the same units. So this right here, they both have to be, most of the time they're going to be in stock status, right? But let's say you got one of them that might be a gone for some reason. Well, they won't merge that way. So they have to both be in stock, and they both have to be the same pricing units. So if all of those fields match, then when you move that into the same bin, let's say you move this product from one bin to another bin, right? And it happens to be the same bin of a product that's already in bin number 4, then it will merge those two products together. Okay. And that's how you get those together. Most of the time, you're doing this with pad, pallets of maybe thin set, again, installation materials, bulk items. You can do it though with tile, with any hard surface type goods, where you might have a half a pallet, of each one, same product, and you just want to merge them into the same thing. As long as they have, again, all those fields match, you can merge them. I just saw a question on that about carpet. Would not recommend you do this. You can't. Yeah, you can't merge carpet, so that won't work. Okay, it always keeps those separate for obvious reasons, right? You got to know the size of each thing in order to know whether it'll work on jobs. So anyway, that's what you do with merging. Okay.
They're asking where the merge button is.
Where is it?
Where is the merge button?
Oh, there is no merge button. The thing that creates the merge is changing the bin location. How do you know what number bin to create? Okay, so this is where you have to organize your warehouse into different bins, okay? And then every time that you put materials in a specific bin, you update the bin location, okay? Again, if you're manually doing it, you come to this page to enter in the bin number. If you're doing it with barcoding, you can do it with the scanner and say, I want to move this. So just doing the move option in the scanner and putting in the bin, the new bin, or scanning the bin. So again, you would have a bin barcode on the bin that you're putting it into. You scan that bin and it'll put that bin number in, and then you scan the tag and it will bring it in. And if it matches all of those fields and you have something else in that same bin with all that same description, if it's the same product, then it will merge those two into the same material. So you don't have multiple materials, okay? So that's what it does. What other questions did we have there, Chad?
What happens to the bills when you merge two materials together?
Okay, so if the old material has a bill attached, it will be moved to gone once the merge is complete. Otherwise, it will stay in the stock list until the bill is attached and cleanup stock procedure is done. Okay, so it depends on if that bill, it depends on the status of the product, right? When that merge takes place as to what happens with that, okay? All right, so that is merging.
The old product stays there. The bill stays attached to the older product, and it just moves the quantities onto the new product.
Okay, so the bill stays. It just moves the product quantities onto that new one. Okay. All right. Someone else had a question there. How do you get the bin location? What is that under setup? Is that what they're?
I don't have a bin column. How do I get a bin column on your left-hand side of your screen?
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you can do to get your bin column there is you're going to hold down your shift key and left click in the placeholder, the column area that you would like to insert something or to get it out. So right now I've already inserted my bin column there. I'm going to just take it out and then it's gone. Let's say I want to move it over to this area right here. I can hold down my shift key again, click on bin, and you can justify it whichever way you want, okay? So that's how you add, replace, move bin or columns into different areas of your screen, okay? That's again, that inserting columns or customizing your list window here on the left side, that's something that most of you should know how to do, and you should train your employees to be able to do it if they don't know, okay? When you do customize your columns on your list windows, that will be saved by each of your employees individually, okay? In other words, when they log in, whatever their previous column customization was when they logged out, it will come back in and save that for them each time they log in. You don't have to recreate it, okay? There was a question, Chad, on that.
I can't see who's unmuted. Somebody isn't muted. I can't see who it is.
I did see a question pop up, but
there is another question, so I'll look for it. How do you delete a column? You just answered.
Oh yeah. So to delete a column, again, you just, let's say you don't need this one. You can hold down the shift key, click, and whichever column you want to take out of there that is checked, you can just uncheck it like that and we'll take it out, okay? All right. Let's move on to the bill screen, okay? If we don't have any other questions on materials, and then we can always come back to if some come up. But over on the bill screen, some of the advanced features that you should know about are, first of all, I'm going to start a new bill here and show you this one. We're going to go to, I think it was Bishop here. Start this vendor invoice right here. Put in your numbers, your dates, terms, etc. And then right here, there's this autofill PO field. Some are using this and some aren't. Some don't know about it. But what this will allow you to do is to, if you put in the PO number in this field, if you have multi-line item POs, like the ones that I just created, you can go ahead and just type in that PO number and hit enter. It's going to ask for your location and profit center information there. Might just go change that, hit OK. And all of those 3 line items that I created earlier as PO number 18, they all come into the bill immediately and automatically without you having to type in each one. Okay. So when you have, a lot of line items, some people have 20, 30, 50 line items on one PO. This is a much quicker way to fill out the bill on a 50 line item PO, to do it this way rather than filling in each individual line item. Okay. So the key to that is the PO number must match exactly. So every PO number back in the materials screen has to be that same PO, right? Here's the one that I'm talking about. And so you can see that they're all exactly the same PO number. If it's 1 digit off or has a dash or anything like that, it's not going to pick it up, okay? So that's why you want to create those POs all at the same time on the purchase orders list, right? And make sure you get them all the same PO number, okay? Doing the way to do that most effectively, and I didn't show you that last time, is to do this right here. And let's do Thomasville. Okay, and it will put in that PO number automatically. Again, you can change that if you want to. And then hit print. And when you hit the print button, that's when it asks you, hey, do you want to change all of the PO numbers for the selected products, so the 3 that we've selected, do you want to change all of those to this PO number? And then you say yes, right? And that will allow you to print that. You can print it as a PDF, whatever it is. But then you say, okay, and then those leave your list. And now over on the on order screen, you can see that they all have the same PO number. Parentheses don't matter on the over on the bill screen, but just those numbers right there do. Okay, so that's how you can make your placing your POs and then putting in your bills much faster. Okay. All right, so that's that. It is not case sensitive. No, the PO number is not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. The only thing that's case sensitive in QFloors is your login info, your username and password to log in. Okay. All right. So that's how you do a PO autofill. Okay. I'm just going to save that. One of the things that I want to show you here is, well, I'm just going to save that one. Get that out of the way. Okay.
Somebody's not muted, so I'm going to mute everybody real quick.
Yeah.
Just hold on for 1 second.
All right.
Muted. Unmuted.
Okay. So the other feature that is really good for you to know if you're entering bills a lot is the duplicate feature. Okay. I would use the duplicate feature for some of these following items, right? So if you have monthly payments, like your car payments, rent payments, maybe insurance payments, where it's the same amount every month, same vendor, same date of the month, same amount, those types of things, you can use that duplicate feature to do that. So here's one right here that is a rent payment. To duplicate that, you would just go new, you click the duplicate button, hit new, click on a location, and then it will copy that bill for you, okay? And what I like to do at the beginning of the year is to create my 12 payments that I know are gonna be coming this next year. And so I'll do, 1/1/21, right? Coming up in the future here. And you don't even need anything there. So you know that you're going to have rent for this amount in every month next year. So I just save that, save, close. And then I just stay on that one, hit new again. Okay. And I'm going to do 2/1/21. Okay. Just warning me that it's in the future. Save, save, close. Okay. So you'll notice over here, I'm just creating this list of bills that will be upcoming in this next year, right? And I just do 12 of those payments just like that to schedule out all of my rent payments for the year, okay? Do the same thing for car payments, insurance payments, those types of things, okay? When you click on any one of these, you'll notice after you've created them that the duplicate button is not checked, okay? So it goes away. It does not save something as a duplicate payment automatically, okay? You have to check the box in order to make it duplicate, okay? All right, so that's one of the uses of the duplicate. One of the questions was, does this work with quick payments? I'm guessing quick checks is what you're talking about. Yes, the answer is yes. You can do a quick check, and the bill will show up as a quick check over here. Then you have to come to the bill screen to create the duplicate. Maybe the question was, can you do a duplicate on the checks window? The answer is no. Okay, you can only do a duplicate on the bill window. Okay. All right, one of the other real important features that you would use for duplicates is payroll bills. Okay. Most of you are using third-party payroll services, which is really good. And so then you either import or enter in your payroll bill. Make sure when you're creating your subsequent payroll bills, after the first one you do, just grab the first one, duplicate it, hit new, and then all you have to do is change, you'll change your date, and then just change the amounts of each of the line items to match what your payroll was for that particular pay period, right? And so every time you do a payroll bill, you don't have to, type out the 5 or 10 lines or 20 lines, whatever it is. You don't have to type them all out. They're already there. All you have to do is change the amounts. Okay, it's a much faster way of doing those duplicate payroll bills. Okay, and I even like to use it for just any non-inventory bill, right? I just want to find, I might go to my all bills here, and hey, there's my cell phone bill, okay, from last time or a year ago, it doesn't matter. And I got my new cell phone bill, and I want to go ahead and find my old one, click on duplicate, hit new, okay, and then this is going to be my 12/1 cell phone bill. All right, and again, you can change the amount. Let's say it's 165 this time. So you just go like that. You don't have to, find your vendor, fill that out, fill in the rest of this information, fill in your account. Let's say you forgot what account you put certain things to, certain bills to. Well, it's easy to go back, find that bill, find the accounts you put it to, and maybe you don't want to type them in again, just hit duplicate new and away you go. And it's a lot faster method of putting in non-inventory bills, okay? Anyway, it's a good use of that button. We also have, let me just do one of these here. Let's say we've got this cell phone bill here, and we want to split this between two locations. So we've got our main store here. I don't know why. And then we're going to do wholesale. And we're going to do telephone. Okay, and this might just, maybe you've got a cell phone bill that you've got 3 people that have a cell phone in one location, 2 in another, but you get it all on the same bill, right? And you want to split it between these 2 different locations. I don't know why it's not allowing me to change that location, chat. Trying to hit main store there, but it's not saving it. There we go. Okay, so you can see we want to split this bill each month into this type of a percentage. You know, we want to apply $165 a month to this location and $120 a month to this wholesale location. Okay, and you want to just do that every month without having to retype that in. One of the features that you can use is this total button down here, right? And you can set the bill total to, let's say when they billed you this time, it was a $300 bill, but you still want to apply it in that same ratio to that of the main location versus the wholesale location. Okay, so you do that, and then it will create a duplicate for you and split it out in those percentages that they were applied to in the previous bill that you were on. Okay, and then you just save that. Okay, and now you've got a new bill in there with that new total, but split out by the same percentage. Okay, so that's a good one to use if you have multiple locations. All right. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to do on bills here is to show you just this. This is one of the basic features. I think we show it to you in the basic training, but a lot of people forget about it just because you don't use it that often. But I wanted to just bring it up here again because it's something that happens a couple times a year, but not very often, and we get a lot of calls on this. Let's say that let's say you got a check from an insurance company. Okay, they refunded you. Oh, whoops, I was on duplicate there, sorry. Okay, so let's say we get one from Great Western Insurance, right? They're our insurance company. We paid our insurance premium, but then they gave us a refund because we didn't have usage or whatever it was. And so this happens, you know, once a year from your insurance company. Might be a rebate check that you get from a mill or a vendor. Whatever money that checks that you get in the mail, or it could be somebody that gives you a rebate or something just directly into your account, an ACH, whatever it might be. But this payment doesn't have anything to do with the sales order, with the customer sales order, right? So it's coming from a business that is giving you some money via check or ACH. So how do you receive that into your checkbook? This is how you do it. You go to the bills credit screen, create a bill here, put in this information. So this is insurance refund, okay? And down here, we're going to put this into our insurance account. It's going to be a negative amount. They gave us $500 back on our insurance bill. So we're going to hit save here, and we're going to hit add to deposits. This is the trick to it. You put it in as a negative on the line items of the bill, and then you click add to deposits. Okay. What this will do is it will put this payment in when it hits your checkbook window into the deposit screen rather than into the checks window. Okay. And so if we come and look back here now in deposits, you'll see right there, there's my $500 from Great Western. So I can include that in just my normal deposits with the other customer payments that were received on the sales orders. Okay. Questions?
A bunch of questions.
Okay.
I thought doing a year's worth of bills would mess up your P&L, I think.
Yeah, okay, so the question is, I thought a year's worth of post-dated bills would mess up your P&Ls. Actually, no. Because you are, when you run your P&Ls and you run your balance sheets and stuff, you're always running those in the past, right? You're never running those in the future. So all of those post-dated items you have don't affect your past numbers, they only affect future numbers. And so that's why putting in those post-dated items is totally fine and will be okay. Now, I wouldn't do it too early. Maybe what the questioner is saying is that might mess up your reconciliation tools. Now, if you're saying that, then yes, you would be correct. It will make those things go off. And so I would always do those prepaid, those post-dated things, do those after you do your year-end reconciliation tools, okay? So that would be my answer to that one.
When I do payroll entry, I go into the employee sub-screen, enter their information, and then I will create a bill for that employee. Is that the correct way to enter payroll?
Okay, so the question was, hey, when I do my payroll, I go into the employee sub-screen and I create payroll bills from here. Yes, if you're doing payroll internally in QFloors, which is what this questioner is asking, then yes, you're doing that correctly. You do it in there. You would not be doing payroll bills and duplicating them like I suggested before. You wouldn't be using it that way. So the people that would do the duplicate of the payroll bill are those that are using a third-party payroll service, okay, only.
Which is 95%.
Which is, yeah, 95% of our customers use a third-party payroll service. They don't use internal payroll, okay? So if you're still using internal payroll in QFloors, that's how you do it, okay? Next one, Joe.
But it doesn't categorize the deposits correctly, so you cannot print deposit slips. Do you have a way to change the types? I don't know what that's in reference to.
Right here, they're probably talking about this, right? So there was a question about the deposit slip and the types. It doesn't categorize those properly. Is that right? So Davina's saying
I'm not sure. It sounds like they might be talking about a bug, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. We think that, so we did have a bug earlier this year on ACH type payments, but we think we have that fixed. So
we don't know of any.
And we don't know of any other bugs in this thing. It says under type, it lists it as other, what was it? Other ACH or something. Yeah. So
rather than check, no, that's right. It is another.
Well, it is an other thing.
From the,
but it might be. If it's in the other place, even though it might be a check, it by default and by necessity it has to put it in that place instead of including it in the checks up above. Okay, so you may want to do that one by itself rather than lumped with others. Okay. All right.
There's a bunch of questions.
Okay, keep going.
When there is a return of a check, we deposit it in the bank. How can that be applied in the checkbook without deleting the receipt entry?
Okay, good. The question is when we get a bounce check, I'm guessing, right?
When there is a return of a check.
A return of a check. So I'm assuming that's a return of a check from a sales order, right? So if you have, let's say you received a check from a customer, and for $1,000, whoops, check $1,000 on this particular thing, and then you go deposit that one, okay? Then you come back, 5 days later, and they say, oh, never mind, the bank bounced that check. You come in here and you do NSF, non-sufficient funds, check, -1,000, okay, and you add that there. So that when you're over here, let me just save this one while I'm at it. Okay, so here's my $1,000 that I would have put with other payments a week before. I save that. Okay, but then I have this NSF check that comes a week later. So I want to just deposit that by itself because that's the way it's going to show up in my bank statement. It'll show up as a -$1,000 by itself. Okay, and so I just save that. And so now that's in my register as a -$1,000, okay? And the customer's account is back to, hey, they didn't pay us anything yet, so we need to get more money. All right.
Follow up to this, can we print a check from QFloors instead of writing a manual one? That was a follow up to that same question. I don't know what, maybe.
Instead of writing a manual one, maybe they're talking about a return check from the bill screen. I'm not sure.
No,
but
it's not clear.
Okay.
On the insurance refund, would it hurt to post it in other income rather than the insurance expense account?
That's totally fine to do. So the question was on the insurance refund bill, is it okay to post that into the other income account? And the answer is yes. You can put that into any account you want. Okay.
We're going to ask people, don't answer other people's questions in the thing.
Okay.
It's getting confusing.
Yeah, let's have other people don't answer questions unless it's Ron, right?
On the chat.
On the chat.
Don't answer any questions.
Don't answer questions unless you're Ron Clough. All right. Any others, John?
For the NSF check, how do I show the chargeback that we have to pay?
How do you show? So on the NSF check, how do you show the chargeback that we have to pay? Are they talking about the fee?
I think
the bank fee for the?
This is the chargeback.
Yes,
fee,
the
yes.
fee, yes. So the fee on that would then be a separate transaction that you could either do. I would just do it with a quick check. Okay, so let's record the NSF fee by just putting in your bank here, whatever your bank name is, right, and putting in $25 and then bank charges. Okay, now that's if you don't want to charge your customer for that bank fee. Okay, if you want to charge your customer for the bank fee, I'm just going to save this so that you can see what that looks like now. There's your $25 bank fee charge that will show up on your statement as a separate fee, right? But if you want to charge your customer for that $25, then you would put that fee over here, right? You would put it in here as bank fee, and it would be, you could just use check again also there. Put in -25, all right? And so what that does, you can see, is it increases the balance to that customer's account by $25. It also then gives you the deposit over here of negative $25 that you can then just record as its own bank fee. Okay, so it depends on if you're going to charge the customer for it, you do it in the sales order. If you're not, you do it as a quick check right on the checkbook window. Okay.
This is another thing on the bounce check, just real quick. What if the return comes in the next month, by which time we have already finalized the reconciliation from the previous month?
Okay, so the question is, what if the return check, the NSF check, or the refunded check?
On the bounce check, what if the return comes, I think they're saying that the return on the check, that that the non-sufficient funds gets charged to you after you already reconciled.
Okay, so yeah, if it's NSF check. So, okay, the question is, what happens if the NSF check comes to your bank after you've already reconciled from the month before? Well, then you just post the NSF payment on the day that it comes through your bank, right? And if it came through in the prior month, you would have seen it on your reconciliation and accounted for it then. If it comes after that month, even though this job, was completed and its payment was made the month before, you would still do, the NSF, if it came through like this, you would do it on the whatever day that it came in, right? Let's say it came through on 1/15, even though the original payment was in December, you still post it on the day that it came through your bank, okay? And you'll pick it up when you do your bank statement. All right. Anything else? Okay. So I think we've answered most of those questions that we had there. And some of the deposit things we've already done. One of the things that I would mention about the checkbook window, okay, is this on the reconcile screen. If you're a large company, and when I mean large, you might have more than a couple hundred transactions each month on your bank rec, you may want to think about doing a CSV clear option when you do your reconciliation. Okay, it's going to save you a lot of time in just doing the check thing. Okay, think of doing 400 or 500 of those checks, right, all the way down through. It's time consuming. What the CSV clear thing does is it allows you to export from your bank a CSV file that has the transaction information. And we have on our website a document that describes the format that CSV file would need to be in order for QFloors to read it. Okay. Now, there are some things where you have to consolidate some columns, move some things to get it in the right format that we read it. Okay. But once you've done the first one, you kind of save those steps, put it in those steps in a document, and then it only takes a couple minutes each time to get that file in the right format. And then you do CSV clear here, and you choose that file name, open, and what QFloors will do will put the bank transactions on one side and the QFloors transactions on another side, and you'll just tell it, okay, check all of the ones that match. And it will go down through and check everything that has a match, and it will leave everything that doesn't have a match and produce a report for you so that you can see, okay, the bank had these transactions that did not find a match in QFloors, and it leaves, and then it will have also some QFloors transactions that didn't have a match from the bank, and both of those then are just the items that you have to then deal with and reconcile manually. But everything else will get checked automatically, right? So it's a faster thing, especially if you have a big company. All right.
They're looking for the support document for CSV import.
Okay, let's look at that. I didn't.
I think it's on our
didn't.
website.
I know that in the, is it under release notes, I believe?
No, knowledge base.
Knowledge base, sorry. So people are looking for where do you find that, the information on that. It's under the knowledge base in our website, CSV imports, and then checkbook reconcile CSV. Okay, so it tells you what it is. What about when I can't read it that fast.
What about when I inherited no reconcile having been done? I don't get CSV files. What about when I inherited no reconcile having been done? Sounds like reconcile's never been done.
So
You have to get a reconcile first.
yeah. So if you've never done a reconcile, the checkbook has never been done. Okay, so that means I'm thinking that the checkbook reconciliation has never been done. That was the question
We're gonna have to call
from someone. You're gonna have to get a hold of our support. We need to get you started and do the first reconciliation together, probably with one of our trainers, so that we can get you started, and then from there, you'll learn a lot in that first reconciliation, how to do things. Then from there, you might be able to, use that CSV thing, or do maybe a couple of them manually, and then do CSV after that. That's what I would recommend. Okay, that's it. That's our training for the day.
Are there any more questions?
Any other questions that people have about
or something that we didn't
anything?
answer or something?
Yeah, maybe we went over something too fast. All right. Well, thanks for coming.
There's one.
Oh, so is it wrong to do employee payroll through the employee screen rather than? Okay, so is it wrong? One of the first question was, is it wrong to do payroll through the employee subscreen rather than doing a payroll service? Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's probably wrong.
Yes.
Chad says it's wrong.
Sorry.
Chad doesn't want people to do that. So here's the reason why we strongly recommend you don't do payroll here. We're not updating the tables anymore, right? And so you have to manually enter your amount of federal withholding and state withholding. And as long as these percentages stay the same, you won't ever have to worry about those changing. But knowing what's happening with our political climate right now, those things are probably going to change. And so you have to do a lot of this stuff manually, where a payroll service is going to take care of it for you. Now, let me just say about payroll services, okay? If you tried them out 5 years ago, 10 years ago, certainly 15 or 20 years ago, and you had a bad experience, forget about that, please, because the experience you have nowadays is much different and much better. There are tons more payroll services out there. There's a lot of competition. The prices on that have come down. Just to give you some idea, there are payroll services out there that do all of your payroll, all of your file all of your reports, pay all of your taxes for you, keep all of the deadlines, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You don't have to worry about the mail. You forward all correspondence with the IRS to them. Any of that kind of stuff. They do that for $50 a month. Okay, and they'll do direct deposit into people's accounts, or you can print your checks. But believe me when I say it's worth every penny plus about 10 times more than that to use a payroll service rather than doing it internally. Okay, that's what I'll say about that. Other questions, Jeff?
Yeah. Let's see. On the PO autofill,
Uh-huh.
do you need to leave off line numbers or make the PO the same? Has to be the same. Can you leave off the line numbers to make the PO the same?
Do you have to leave
On the
off
autofill,
on the autofill? Yes. Yeah, the answer, yeah, so the question was, on the autofill PO, do you have to leave off the line numbers from the purchase order number in order to have that work? The answer is yes. The PO number has to be exactly the same in all of the PO fields, which is why I showed you that you should try to create as much of one PO at the same time on the purchase order screen as you can, because it will fill in that PO number for you automatically, same for each one. The parentheses, you can see how it's put parentheses with numbers, line numbers on there. It disregards those in the auto PO fill box. Okay, so don't worry about these parentheses that QFloors automatically puts on there. Okay.
might want to just explain about 1099s and payroll. Just make sure people understand.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when I say use payroll service for all of your payroll, I'm talking only about your W-2 payroll employees. Okay, people with deductions and withholdings and things like that. I am not speaking about your installers, those people that you pay every week or every couple weeks that are going to get a 1099 from you, that are contractors. Those you should be paying through QFloors employee subscreen. Okay, so you pay them through here. Doesn't do any deductions. It doesn't have all of this stuff applied. It's just paying your workers, your 1099 contractor workers through employee subs. Okay.
Is it okay that I go through the employee screen to input the info after getting it from my third-party payroll system?
Okay, so the question is it okay if I put the information into the employee subscreen after I've sent it through my third-party payroll service? The answer is yes, it's okay, but again, highly not recommended. Okay, your payroll service is keeping track of all of these deductions for you, keeping track of all of their withholdings. They file all the taxes, all the details behind each of those employees. You can go get, they've got tons of reports that shows it to you in any way you want to see it. You don't have to keep the details of each check in QFloors. That's the beauty of a payroll service. All you need to do is record the expenses every pay period. And recording the expenses are easiest and best done in the bill screen or a journal entry. Okay, so I know some companies, big companies, that use the journal entry screen, and that's okay too. But you want to just lump sum those things together into the bill screen. Let me just give you a quick example of how to do that. Okay, let's say we've got our payroll service. Okay, you're just going to put that in here, and there's our payroll. We're going to come down here, and this is what you do. You're going to do salaries and wages. Let's see, we don't have that. Is it just gross pay in here, Chad? Okay, so you got your gross pay line. Let's say you have 5 employees. Okay, you don't have to do 5 different line items or 5 different checks in the employee subscreen. You take all 5 of these and you put all of that payroll into one line item. Okay, and then you come down here and you do payroll expenses, okay, for payroll tax expenses. This is the employer portion only of those taxes, because the employees are already wrapped into their gross pay. So you put in here $1,290, okay, for payroll tax expense, and that's all you have to do. Okay, you hit save. You're going to have direct deposits. Hopefully you set it up with direct deposits there, and you then come into here and your net checks are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, $12,000 for the direct deposits to all your employees. And the rest of it is going to be your taxes. And this will be both your employee and employer taxes. And it's going to be the balance there, $42.90. Okay. So you save it like that, and that's recording your payroll. Okay. The other thing you have to do is go to the check screen and just create those two items in your check register, so that, because they'll come out of your check register just like that. There's one non-check item because your payroll service is just deducting those, and that's it. That's your payroll. That's how you record payroll. You don't have to create 5 different checks and keep track of and change all of these things, you know, over in here, right, in your employee subscreen. You don't have to do any of that. So that's why we recommend using that. If you need help doing that the first time, please call us. Again, in our support department, we can help you do that first one. We'll just need a payroll subtotal report from your payroll service, and we can help you put that in. Okay. All right. Any other questions?